be on to something here too. All right, while that's kind of like loading, all right, I'm seeing. So what we're doing today, kind of an open forum. I'm gonna do like a quick intro. All right, let me double check really quickly. But just to make sure everything's connecting to YouTube. But what we're doing today is really informal Q&A, anything business related, however, my business, any questions you have about running your business. And I am doing this a couple of reasons. One, I truly believe that we should have more than one source of income. You all know I have been a career coach for years. And I've always believed that we should have more than one source of income, but with this more recent administration, what's been happening with the employment and unemployment rates for Black women and women of color, it is more important than ever that we have a secondary source of income. And your business has the potential to be unlimited, where you can make more money in your business than you are in your current job. And that was my situation. Now, it did not happen overnight and it didn't happen in 6 months, like people say. It took time. But I've had previous businesses that I've owned and worked in concurrently while I was working full time. And then with my career coaching business, you all know I was full time in that, and I was not making anywhere near my salary until I had to change a few things, right? And I had things, some of you all know the story about my mom, um, but it was some things that happened in my life that really helped me shift my mindset, and it helped me shift how much money I was making and kind of like how I live and how much fun I have. But okay, start putting your questions in. I'm going to check really quickly just to make sure we are going live on YouTube. It asks me, let me see.
Latrice.
In here too. Oh, I think I am, guys. I think I am. While that's kind of like
Hold up.
loading. All right. See. So what we're all right. So far as far as I can tell, we are going live on YouTube as well.
Yes, I was gonna say that I got a notification that it was live streaming. So yeah, you're good.
All right, this is my first time doing this, and I did it by myself. Didn't have my assistant set it up or anything. So I am very I am really, really proud of this. All right, let's just get into the questions then. Do you all need me to do a little quick brief intro, or y'all good? We can just jump right into it.
I'm good. We can just jump
Y'all
right
good?
in.
Let's go. All right, let me check the comments. What questions? All right. So Shakira says, when you first launched your business, how did you find clients? All right. So great question. But honestly, at first, I was looking online, trying to do all the things that they said online. Like I was like posting on LinkedIn, connecting with people on LinkedIn, and then sending messages and all this stuff. And to be honest, it did not work. It didn't work. I'll never forget. I read this article I found on Pinterest, and the person was like, just do what you know, go to people you know and offer to help them, right? And so that's what I did. So the moment I was like, I can just talk to people, like I'm a verbal communicator. So you all are going to hear me say this a lot about using your gifts. If you are a writer, it may be writing. Use your gifts, but also go to who you know first and use what you know. So for me, my first clients came and they came very quickly because I started doing what I know. So I got them from a conference. So I'll tell you about this client. I attended a conference. I actually volunteered. I don't know if you all remember, it was the Act Like a Success client conference that Steve Harvey did. And I had volunteered before. And so I volunteered again. If you all know, that's like a hack. If you ever want to go to a conference for free, volunteer. And I have pictures with like Steve Harvey and other celebrities. It was great. And they had this thing where they were like, hey, if you if you volunteer afterwards, if you stay a little later, you can talk, you can have time to talk to the speakers. So I talked to one of the speakers and she did not like my business idea. And she was right. I was gonna do like um recruiting or something. And she was like, you're in HR, just kind of do what you know, like do career coaching. And that was the first time I was like, oh, I can do that. So I was talking to another volunteer there. And she was like, hey, I know someone who is a resume writer, but she doesn't like coaching. Can you, maybe you and her should connect? And she connected me with this woman, and we decided she had a client that she was doing a resume for, but she was like, this person needs coaching. I don't want to coach. So we actually agreed. I was like, hey, it makes more sense for her to work with me first than you, right? Because you need to be, I was like, she needs to be coached than her resume. Y'all, I had nothing. I didn't have like a website. I didn't have like any documents, anything. I went to this site called coachingtools.com. So if anybody wants to be a coach, and they have templates that you can buy and like formulate yourself. Like I didn't know my pricing. I had nothing. So I went to this conference. By the time I get home, it's a few weeks later that we're doing introductions. She introduces me to this woman virtually. I talk to her, work with her. She is amazing, right? She's amazing, pays me. That was my first client. I'll take a long story short. You all might have heard me talk about this client before because that one client I could trace back to probably like 50,000 in my business because she kept referring me. Make a long story short, when I sent her back to the person to do her resume, the person took her money and then reneged on the resume. So I was like, hey, I'll do your resume for free because I don't do business like this. And she was like, okay, from that point on, she just kept referring me people. Those people kept referring me. Around the same time, all this happened in the same week. Around the same time, me and my husband was in Aberdeen. I had a mentor that I found on LinkedIn, and we met. And she told me she would not hire me. Again, I was still stuck on like I wanted to be like a corporate recruiter, like have my own recruiter. And she was like, I wouldn't hire you. I don't know you. She was like, come to this event. She was like, we're having a networking event. In fact, it was the national HR, it was the National Association for African Americans, right? Like HR AAA in Baltimore. She said, come to this event, meet some people. I think these people you'll really connect with. I go, y'all, I literally just start talking and telling people my story. And somebody was like, can I hire you for interview coaching? Do you do interview prep? Do you do these things? And I picked up my another three clients. Again, I didn't have pricing. I'm like on these tools. I'm like trying to figure out how to sign contracts. I was like, okay, literally picked up three clients there. And then my next other clients were actually former coworkers. So if you all have worked with me, you hear me talk about branding so much. This is what I mean by your personal brand, right? Like it was not the internet. It wasn't social media. It was me talking to people. It was me, my reputation. Like when I got a referral from that woman, talking to her, thinking things were going to be fine. She didn't. My own values, I was like, I don't work like this. I will do it for free. Me taking that little bit of hit, like honestly, was the best investment. She had already paid me for my coaching, but she went on. I worked with her a few times after that herself, but she went on to like continuously refer me. Those first few clients that I picked up at that networking event, and this was a free networking event. All the stuff, and again, all the stuff was free. They started referring me, and then I think I think I either like emailed or something I did to like reach out to some former people that I used to work with. And then they became clients. Some of my best testimonials came from former clients. And I will tell you all this. Even though we didn't really get into this, Shakira, I didn't even have a niche. Like the first few were black women, but then my former coworkers, that was a white man. Some other ones were white women. And then when we went back to live on post, y'all, I was doing resumes for donations. I was working with military spouses and veterans. And again, I had one price, but then I was like, well, I know these people, they're military veteran, they're active duty or gonna be transitioning soon. I don't know how much to charge. I just don't, they were like, I was like, I won't charge you anything. It's practice. They were like, girl, by this time I had a bachelor's degree, several years experience. I had already been in leadership. Like I had a career, but in my mind I was starting over. And they were like, no, like, let me give you something. And they were honestly giving me donations. So that's how I got my first few clients. And it happened pretty quickly. The first 4 or 5 came in a week. And then the rest, I would say, came in like those 30 days. And then I started recycling that method. Eventually, I honed in my method more and more. But when you're first starting off, I I don't always believe social media is the best place. Yes, now most of my clients probably do come from social media, but if you're talking about when I first launched my business, it was in person and it was referrals and networking. And you guys, right now, what's going in the world, and people, they say we're in like a trust deficit. People aren't really trusting people. I've seen a huge comeback to referrals, like networking, like people trusting people they already know or somebody they already met. So I would say take those stories and see how can you apply this to your life. If it's not in-person networking, maybe it is virtual networking, but how could that work for you? But it was not doing some of the things that you see people do on the internet. Some of those things are designed when you already have a bigger brand. Does that make sense, Shakira?
Yeah, it definitely does. Thank you so much for the guidance.
You're welcome. And here's the thing, once you get those first few clients, I would recommend anyone, once you get the first few clients and people actually pay you money, that changes everything. Like you're in business now. Like that changes everything. Around the same time, again, because I didn't know my pricing, and I helped this lady. This was before, like, I met her at the conference too, and I helped her. And she was like, how can I pay you? I didn't have PayPal. Think of it, I didn't have anything set up. And I was like, you don't have to pay me. And she was a Black woman, and she was like, no, you provided a service. She said, I don't even feel comfortable. I am going to pay you. And she sent me a check. Like she mailed this back in the day. She like mailed me a check, you guys. So yeah, you can find clients anywhere you want, but I would say use what comes natural to you and look at who you're already surrounded by. What's the easiest way you can build trust? The easiest way you can kind of tell people what you're doing. This works for corporate clients as well. Shakira, were you looking for like individual or were you looking to individual, corporate clients, or both?
Well, so I guess maybe it's like for more context, like for my
Mhm.
side hustle, I know that you mentioned like to do something that I won't say it's not something that I know. I'm interested in starting a side hustle to help other parents who have children on the spectrum
Mhm.
who are like trying to figure out how to like navigate the systems like the school system and also like navigating like different therapy systems and things like that. Because I'm just thinking about my own experience, like when my son was first diagnosed, how lost I was and
Yeah.
like just trying to figure out what to do next. So I was thinking to try to provide like resources or especially local and national resources for other parents.
I think that's amazing. Yeah. And that is something you know, and it's a need out there. It's a need. There are other coaches that do something similar, but you can decide which way you want to go. Like, do you want to be coaching? Does it want to be more group support and resources? Does it want to be a nonprofit? Because even nonprofits, you have to run them like a business, right? You just have to run them like a business. But think about it. I think that's amazing. And I know a lot of people will need that. Like my cousin has autism. She's grown now, but when she first got diagnosed, it was very, very new, like over 20 years ago. And I think what you are doing is amazing. I would say that's something you could start just offering people resources and tips now, asking people for referrals. Like, hey, do you know anyone who would be interested in this service who needs some help? Because I would think some people would love a group, and then some people may like, I may just need one-on-one. Like, I just may need to talk to somebody, go over my fears, get some resources. It's up
Yeah,
to you.
absolutely. And that's where I am now. I mean, I've created my own group of other parents who are looking for support or looking for ideas or looking for just someone to speak to about what's going on. And it's been really helpful, but I was trying to figure out recently if, I should create something more formal, like maybe like you said, like a nonprofit or just like something that people can actually go and seek the information. Because I mean, my biggest hang up has just been like access to information.
What's your initial instinct telling you? Like what would be the easiest thing for Shakira? When I'm like, how can you get this out? What's the first thing that comes to your brain?
I mean, the first thing that comes to my brain is having like a database or like something that people can search. But my husband laughed at me when I said that because he was like, people don't Google things anymore. You just go to ChatGPT and ask your question. Like that's it. So I don't know that a database makes sense.
Well, but it's different. ChatGPT is not flawless. Let's say that. Like they have some flaws, and it is unlike Google where it's like who paid or who's been on there the longest. Um, the AI it makes errors, and it's really like what has been fed into it. So you and somebody else could also get different answers, or people could get the same answer, but it's not relevant. Like the relevancy could be off. Or if there is a local source, like the more you drill down, the less it's going to be accurate, right? So there is still a need, and your database can be a little, you can even use AI to help you build the database. I wouldn't say don't use AI because it's a tool, but AI isn't going to replace you. Go ahead, Trisha. You can come off mute.
No, I was just going to tell, is it Shakira? I was just going to say the same thing basically. Like she can partner with AI to, help build that database.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a great option for, I mean, that's like my initial thought to like how to approach this because I mean, it not only it's helpful for me to like I'm a reader. Like I want to go on like a wiki page or something and like find the answer or like Reddit and find the answer. And like at some point, yes, it's helpful to talk to somebody, but mainly just being able to like at 2 o'clock in the morning while I'm up like spiraling, it's helpful to be able to go somewhere.
It is. And people are going to trust you before they trust AI. They're going to trust somebody who's been through this, somebody who can say, this is the specific question to ask. Like if you ask AI about menopause, they're not going to tell you all this stuff you got, like, or perimenopause. It's some things, and ask me how I know. It is some things it's not going to tell you compared to when my girlfriends, I was at a book conference and the one lady was like, my doctor told me about peppermint. I had no idea that peppermint helps with hot flashes, right? Right? AI is not going to say all that. It's not going to drill down so far. It can give resources, and I think it's helpful. Like Trisha said, partner with it, use it as a tool. It's not going to replace you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for validating my
Oh,
feelings.
you're welcome. I'll say this really quickly, then I want to move on to Trisha's question in the chat. Just speaking of other people and spouses, when I first told my husband I wanted to only work with women of color, he thought it was the worst idea ever. He was like, "Why are you gonna isolate 50% of the population and men need help too?" And da 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 da. Look, after years, he was like, "Latrice, that was so right, girl." Like because he didn't understand about niching, connecting, Mr. Market. He didn't understand about any of that. And my husband is very supportive. Like somebody can be supportive of you and not 100% understand like what you're doing or where you're going. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean you're going in the wrong direction. It just means they have a different perspective. So and this is for everybody. Just keep this in mind because your friends will say this. Spouses, people close to you who mean well, okay? So let's keep that in mind. I am not a fan of like cutting people off because no. I'm like, I can see you mean well. You have a different perspective than me, and that's okay. We don't have to agree. I just need you to support me. So just keep that in mind, you guys. Trisha Hunter says, have you ever felt like you're stuck and nothing is moving forward? What do you do to overcome it? Yes, I feel that way like every 3 months. Like, and I would tell you, I would say most business owners do, regardless of the type of business they have. Did you want to come off mute, Trisha? Trisha Hunter.
Here, yes, thank you.
Anything specific you going through?
I just feel like, I'm just putting out, in regards to reaching out, connecting and just not, getting anything in return in regards to, business, for example. And it could be a result of the economy. So I'm just, trying to get a sense of, where this is coming from. Is it just me, or do I need to just continue pushing forward?
All right, here's the thing. When we say, is it me? It's always going to be you in a way because you control you. Like you
Mm-hmm.
control your mindset. External things are always going to exist. The economy is always going to go up and down. Companies are going to be finicky. Sometimes people's budgets are high, sometimes people's budgets are low. You guys, look at 2020 versus 2026. Remember 2020 and everything was DEI and everybody was like getting these DEI contracts and starting businesses and companies was making all these commitments. Look at 2026. Now they didn't get rid of the whole DEI program. Now they're like, you can't
Mm-hmm.
even say DEI, right? So those things are kind of always going to exist. It's going to be you and like, okay, how am I going to handle this? Please know lows in your business are normal. Um, Feeling stuck, like as an individual, you as the business owner is
Mm-hmm.
normal. That is not abnormal, Trisha. That is very, very normal. Sometimes you need thinking time. Sometimes it's like I meditate. Um, I'm going through something now. I don't know if you all noticed. I'm kind of doing like a pivot more towards business. And again, I took some bad advice, and someone was like, "Well, if you're serious, then stop all the career stuff and only go towards business." And I'm like, "But I like helping people with careers." And I felt stuck because I felt like I had to choose one or the other, where I believe in both. I truly believe in women getting to six figures in their career, but I truly believe in us starting our own businesses too. And I was like, I felt like I shouldn't have to choose, but in my mind, I felt like I needed to choose. And so it kept me stuck until I was like, no, I'm not going to choose. Like, I'm not going to choose. I can do both, right? So on sometimes knowing whose advice to take. Again, the person who told me this meant well. Like they wanted me to succeed. They were just saying they wanted me to focus. Like I get where they were coming from. It just wasn't for me. And then I'm like, okay, now going forward, if I'm going to do both, how am I going to do this? Right. Then I start getting more ideas. But something tangible. I don't know if I shared this with you all. Some of y'all might have heard. Y'all know I do like my audio recordings to myself. So I love affirmations. Let me see if I can pull it up. So I have like a whole affirmations like for my business. It's audio. Let me see. Can y'all hear it? Can y'all hear it? It's on my phone. You hear that? So like I listen to that like every day, especially when I'm feeling stuck. And I created that at a time when I was going into a stuck place. Like I was like, I feel myself being stuck. And I was like, why am I stuck? I kind of did some thought work on like, what's going on? Why am I stuck? What do I need to hear to get unstuck? And I literally like recorded it. And then I listen to that all the time. And that's a tangible thing you can do to be like, yes, this is normal. Feeling stuck is normal. How do I overcome it? Give yourself the time to feel your feelings, be in the place because all those things are real. The economy is real. Like the people tightening their budget is real. People thinking that AI solves all their problems. Like those things are real. And there's still so many opportunities for you. So you need to be like, okay, this is normal. These things are real. I'm feeling the feelings, and now it's time to overcome it. Again, I use a ton of affirmations, support,
Mhm.
and support. Sometimes the support comes from my friends. Sometimes the support comes exclusively from my business friends or business community. So I would highly recommend finding like a little support group. And I'm going to be starting like a Black women's business community as well. I think it's so important because being a business owner can be isolating. And that will help you too, like having people who understand, who can walk you through like where you stuck and you can talk it out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have the I Am app where I have affirmations come to me. You can write your own and they have a selection and you can choose business affirmations. They have come in handy You have that too? Yes. And you can have them sent to you. And then a colleague showed me how to like have it at my on my home screen. All these things are redirecting your brain. So that's why when you were like, is it me? I mean, you're responsible for you because all those other things are real too, but you can't control the economy. You can only control you. Yeah, the widget. Yeah, yeah, yes, the I am app widget. So when you ask me like how I get unstuck, I I do two things. I dove into it, like some internal things, and then I do these tangible things to reframe my brain, but I also step back and take a break. I've had my best ideas, my best like monetary months, my best launches when I do all these things, and then I'm like, now I need to step back. Like this weekend, I just went to like the National Book Conference. Me and my sister just hung out for the weekend in DC. And I was like, I'm not doing business. I'll come back on Monday and I'm going to be full force. And I got so many ideas. Just even though we were talking books, I had so many ideas for like my business, how I can help people, how I can talk to people. So sometimes taking a step back too and trusting that it'll come to you. Anybody else have any ideas, Patricia, of like when you get stuck? Because
I like going to see other people's like success and like reading about other people's journeys that they've had through their business. Sometimes just like going back and seeing, you know, there's something that I read a long time ago that one business owner or somebody had like started a business when they were like in their 70s or something like that. And I'm always like really motivated to see that other people start in under unusual circumstances or at different ages, like with different ideas. And sometimes people start businesses from just literally like a failure that someone else realized that there was value from. So I think like sometimes when I'm discouraged, just thinking that there's other people who have not had a linear path to success encourages me a lot.
Yes, I would say that. Thank you, Shakib. That always, I always say, give your brain evidence, evidence that it's possible. Like even when I used to post testimonials, I used to be like, this is just proof. This is just showing people what's possible. My go-to, I have a go-to person in my mind, which is Madam C.J. Walker. I have read her books from like kids' books to adult books. I read so many books on her. Y'all know I saw the little TV special. Her granddaughter just has just written another book, but this woman was ahead of her time. Like she still has a building with her name on it. So that's my go-to like person. But there are so many examples out there for you too. That's such a great idea of like, okay, where can I just give myself evidence? I'm feeling stuck, but you know what? This is possible. I'll get over this. This person did it too. So I think that's good. Any other ideas, Patricia?
No, I was just gonna say I've been using that evidence from FBF that has come up, and I think just having a state like when you start to doubt yourself, that internal dialogue, it being positive and affirmative and questions, to yourself in a positive, like for example, and I just wrote this down, how can I bring my gifts to the world that brings
Mm.
value? Who can you collaborate with maybe to, do some of the things when you're feeling stuck?
Oh, that's good, Trisha. That's good. I like that. Who can you collaborate with? That is really good. All right. Anyone else before I get to the next question? Because this is going to be for us. We're going to have fun. Yeah, I'm just checking, make sure, seeing if I got any questions on YouTube. All right. I want to read in the comments because I
Well,
want to make
thank
sure.
you for the guidance and I'm going to
Yeah.
say feedback. I appreciate it.
All right. Trisha Mitchell says, I have a couple business ideas. I've actually started implementing them. Good. How do you decide which one deserves your focus first? All right, Trisha, this is good. All right, this is good because this is where I'm at. Yeah. Yeah. My first few ideas was all over the place. Like, uh, which one's called to you? I did take the advice of, again, when I went to that conference. And the person was like, I don't know if I like this for you. I think you should do this. And she explained why. And I was like, I love it. I love it. It was like so awesome. I was like, I love coaching. This is amazing. And I don't even know if I was calling myself a coach. I think I was calling myself what was it, like a HR consult? I can't remember. I had made up a title or whatever. And then someone was like, you're a coach. Just be a coach. And I was like, I love it. What is calling to you first, right? I'm I'm not against doing more than one thing at one time. When you're just starting off, though, it is important to focus. Which one is calling to you the most? Which one is kind of easiest to like implement and kind of get moving? Because you can always do things as you as you go along. I would say sometimes when we have three or more, it can really divert our focus. I am a mind map kind of person to be like, oh, this falls into here. Sometimes we don't even see how things correlate. Um, it could be like these ideas correlate, and maybe it's one or two main ideas. The other things are little ones that can fall under that. But why don't you give me some examples? Like, where are you at? What's the ideas?
Okay. For example, so can you hear me?
I got my paper. I'm gonna take notes. I'm gonna write it down too.
Okay, so one of the business is property preservation. I know you probably don't remember, but I am a real estate agent, but I'm currently like inactive, right? And I've been inactive for maybe about a year and a half, close to 2 years. So the property preservation thing came about. I saw an ad scrolling, through social media, and I came across that. So I took like this boot camp, and I'm thinking about that, the property preservation. I'm also thinking about a digital product, which is actually, I'm calling it like the reinvention blueprint. I got like a couple of or like 3 volumes, and I'm working on the first volume, which is Reclaim and Reimagine. And it's like an AI guided, like a 30-day roadmap for women 50 plus, for women who aren't done yet. So, and it's for all women. You can be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, but the focus, my audience, of course, is 50 plus.
Mhm.
So those are the two things. And I know the workbook is probably the simpler of the two, but I've just been kind of doing things in both simultaneously. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I need to focus. And I'm like, should I go? You know what I mean? Because I know that the property preservation, once it's up and running, will probably generate income faster.
Mhm.
I just don't know how the workbook is gonna do. I don't know, how to market it and all of the things. So that's where that question comes from.
I mean, they are completely different too.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Totally.
Just listening to you, I'm partial to the reinvention blueprint, right?
Okay.
This could be something that you could work on both. How you still working are you working full time?
Girl, no.
No. Okay. Okay. So if you're not working full time, that kind of changes things a little bit too. Um, because my first thought was like the reinvention blueprint until you said the other one may make money faster, right? Like
Right. And I don't know that to be a fact. I'm just thinking,
you're just
if I
thinking.
were to put my focus in it, it could, but who knows? I could put that workbook out and, on Etsy or Pinterest, and, it could sell pretty quick too. And
I it,
it's pretty much done. I'm just,
it
I'm proofing it right now.
if it's done though, then you could put it out. Like, and
You
I
know?
would, yeah. It's a reinvention blueprint. You could instead of even calling it a digital product, you can call it a program. Like I would like
Yeah.
make it and call like a name matters. So calling it like a reinvention, blueprint or reinvention blueprint program for women
Mhm.
over 50 who aren't done yet, right? And like, what are they going to get out of it? Like how to live your best life or whatever it is, how to get out of it. I I would buy something like that. Now, if I'm already seeing you too, like if I saw you, if I know you, that's something you could sell this in person. Like you could make this a digital product, but you could also sell it in person. When I
Yeah.
was at what's the name? I met this guy. He had a book and he was selling his book. And I bought the book and he was like, oh, he signed it. And he was like, oh, you get a digital copy too. I was like, oh, this man had a whole ebook and made it a physical copy. So don't limit yourself. This is a great idea. This sounds like a whole program to me. Uh,
Yeah, with the multiple volumes.
with the
This is just
multiple
the
volumes,
first.
like it could be a workbook, it could be like a real book. One of my friends just wrote a book on self-love, and then she's gonna do a workbook, and then she's gonna be doing like a program on self-love, like reinvention over 50. I think you could do so much with that. Not to say you couldn't do the property preservation in the background too. Um,
Hmm.
I would look at like pricing. I say don't limit it to just a digital product,
Okay.
right? Just, don't limit yourself because this sounds it just sounds like big, like a pro, like it could, like you could be like, I could have an ebook, I could have a workbook, I could have like a physical book, I could have like a 30-day challenge and people pay you and y'all show up live and do that. Like I'm thinking of all these things and
Yeah.
a challenge with the workbook may be a way for you to make money even faster and have like a higher amount.
Yeah. Because I mean, price point wise, I was thinking, don't get on me about this, but $19
Okay.
for, yeah, that's the price point that I was at, just like an initial offer. And then, if it does well, then increase it. And I'm also looking to launch, of course, in Jamaica. So for those women and kind of, making it maybe half price because they don't have, the resources that a lot of us have here in the States. So,
Girl, I see this as a whole program. I be taking women to Jamaica. We would do a Jamaican retreat. And
yes,
are
yes,
you
that's what I'm looking at. I'm really, thinking about that. I
and for
am.
those of you who don't know, do you still are you still doing six every other month in Jamaica?
Yes.
Yes, Tristan.
Well, I just lost my job. So I
No.
haven't been, I think I came back home in July and I was scheduled to go back in September. I think I'm going to push it out to October. But yeah.
This is what I would say about that. I like the $19 is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I would also think about like I would have three price points. Like
Mm-hmm.
as a ebook, $19. Maybe an ebook with the paid with the challenge and you all are doing and you're doing it with them every day, maybe that's $99. And then if they want like a one-on-one talk with you or something, maybe that's a little more. That's a way and it's still around the like reinvention blueprint. Like everything is around the same thing and it's already done and you don't have to deviate. But that could be a way to make a higher
Mm-hmm.
amount.
Okay.
And you can create your own schedule. I see people do this all the time. Like you could go online and really start giving tips and talking about it and then saying like, hey, if you want to take this further, or if I have a workbook. I see people do that all the time and it's $19. Here's the link. You could download it. And then in that you could be like, hey, if you want to do the challenge with me, like choose we're going to start this on October 1st. If you want to do it with me, we can do it together and it's $99. That
You
way
just,
you have
you
all those
just
price
gave me
points.
an idea, honey. Thank you.
I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's what I would say. Once you have you have a program here. This isn't an idea. It's done. You said it's done. You've written it. Like this is tangible now. Now you can do so many things with it. Now you can be writing tips. You can go live. You can network on this. You can do workshops. Like yeah, I'm like you could be doing workshops. We got to talk because you could be doing workshops. Like even paid workshops and paid speaking. So think about once you have an idea, and
And
again, this is where my mind mapping come in. I'm like, okay, where are all the the ways that'll work for you, Trisha. To say this is my core price point, $19. You want to make sure it's accessible to everyone. I agree, especially right now. However, if people have the income and the need and the desire, and they want to pay you more, okay, now I'm going to offer them this for more support for $100. You wouldn't believe too, like you have a niche for like women over 50, and that's a niche. You could even do paid speaking engagements. I've had paid speaking engagements starting from like $50 to $300 all the way to 8,000, right? So you wouldn't believe, like somebody could pay you three, $400, maybe $500 to talk to their group or association for like an hour or two. You know, I
Yeah.
just you
Yeah, that's
gotta,
something. But that thinking about that, like my personality is more behind the scenes. I don't, yeah, the whole talking to people. I mean, I don't mind talking to people, but
then
yeah.
you don't have to do it. They just idea. Yeah, you don't have you
Yeah.
take what I'm saying and you decide and be like, okay, this is good. This Latrice said this, but I think I'm going to tweak it this way. Yeah,
Mhm.
always go with what is most natural for you, right?
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
most if the like the digital product, the book, that's you created it. It's most natural. But I do think I would think about doing like the chat like
Yeah.
challenge. And
Yeah.
you could do it two ways. If you don't want to do it live, I've seen people do videos and they send people out a video every day, and then people can message them back and you can communicate with them that way. Right? It's plenty of ways to do it that work
Yeah.
for you.
I like that.
Mhm.
Thank
A-
you.
And because this seems primarily done, if in the back end you still wanted to do the property preservation, fine. I would decide which one do you think you want to spend the most of your time on. Um,
Hmm.
but it doesn't mean like you automatically neglect the other thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So which one would be like primary, which one would be secondary?
I think the workbook.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, the workbook. Because, like I said, I've implemented, started both of them. Like,
Mhm.
I have the LLC, I have my virtual address, for the property
Mhm.
preservation business. I have the foundation, pretty much set up for that already. So,
You got it. I like this. All right, we may chat. I like it. I like it. I like that. Okay. Side note, I'm gonna write down. I had some other ideas. You could even have other people selling this, and like you can have this on associate. It's there are associations, there are book clubs. There's so many ways that you can connect your digital product to another group that already has like a lot. They have a large group of people in your target market, and they can even be doing the work for you. So something to think about. All right, I want to get to Bree's questions. Any tips on negotiating pay? I always get mid when asking for more money, but I want to get to a space where I can confidently discuss pay for the future jobs and current roles. I find that women, I don't know your race, but like women of color and Black women, we always do this. We negotiate and then we tend to accept the low to the mid rate of the negotiation. It is possible to just keep negotiating. And sometimes you just have to say, like if they're offering 96 and you want to be at like 105 and they're like, well, we can pay you 98, you can say I was really looking to get closer to 100,000, right? Like you can tell them the number that you're looking to get close to, and then especially right now you are going to have to back that up. This is what I bring to the table. Even if you're repeating what's on your resume, even if you're repeating what is on what you said in the interview, and here's the caveat right now. You're also going to have to explain how they're going to get more than that money back. Like these days, it's not enough to be like, I can do the job, I'm qualified, this is how it's going to help you. It's got to be like, no, I'm an investment. You're going to get a significant return on the investment, and this is the path I'm going to get you there. And just keep in mind, negotiations don't have to be hard or heavy. They can be light. You can be polite. Um, with more competition right now, like the more we have like layoffs and things like that, the more we're going to have more competition. And so what that brings is more people willing to do more for less, right? So if you don't want to be that person, if you don't want to discount yourself because other people will give a discount, you're going to have to show how you are the premium product essentially. And like what is the significant and immediate return on investment that they're going to get. This is the piece I see people lacking right now when it comes to negotiation, when it comes to like discussing salary or discussing pricing, is there is a level of immediacy now. Like, how am I going to get this back soon? Not in 5 years or 6 years, like in the next 6 months, because things are rapidly changing and people want to know that. But again, there's a way to do it that can be easy, and it's just all about what you choose to accept too. But yes, you do not need to continuously accept that mid rate. You can ask for more and you could tell people, hey, I'm really looking to get closer to this number, to the higher range, because they're always going to start to the low to the middle. Just because someone comes back with that, the first offer is just the first offer. You can just say, yeah, I'm looking to get closer to this, and this is why. Going along with that, anything you tell a recruiter or someone or anyone you're speaking to, please have that in writing too. It's very important that you have it in writing. Um, Another thing, and I think I tell you all this, now it's very important that you have your metrics, even with the business. Oh, okay, sure. Um, yeah, sorry, I just muted you. Even with the whether you're doing your business, whether you're getting corporate clients, whether this is for your career, you have to show your own numbers and your own metrics for yourself. Start tracking these now. Trisha, I would use this like if I am helping women um like reinvent themselves over 50, I would be like, yes, I'm over 50 and this is what I did. Going into specifics, giving those numbers, having people visualize and show it. Same thing for your career. You should be tracking your own metrics and numbers and accomplishments and how and why it is important to them. But you need to know first, it's going to help build your confidence. You need to know what you bring to the table other than being just a workhorse. Like just working and qualified isn't enough. It's like, no, this is what I have achieved. I have the confidence. I know I can achieve it here. This is how I got raises and promotions in a current role. And y'all, I came out of college in like 2007. Remember when we had the the crash and everything? So it was not a prime time to be like negotiating. I learned so much from like negotiating a bad economy from that time. And I was out of college, but I did have work experience. So I would say just keep those things in mind, making sure that you know your metrics, you have your own metrics, making sure that you're telling people what you have done and how you can help them right now, like concurrently. And honestly, simply saying, I was looking to get closer to this number. Oh, go ahead, Trisha.
Yeah, so thank you for, the guidance earlier. I am thinking of, doing, of course, you know that I own my business.
Mhm.
I'm considering getting back into the W-2 space, corporate America. Based on experience, what are the pros and cons where that is concerned? Is it that, for example, employers, frown on business owners like myself and give us like a hard time to get back into space? I'm just trying to get some feedback, in terms of that traction.
So I've right now I'm hearing two things, and I will be y'all know I'm gonna give it to y'all real. I'm gonna be honest. So I am hearing some people say, like, this company asks me questions about my business, right? And the question comes up like, is your attention going to be diverted? That seems like to be the biggest question or concern. Because here's the honest truth. I used to say like back, like if this was like 2 to 4 years ago, it would have been like 40 to 50% of my clients had their own business or wanted to have their own business. Now that it is 2026, that number is closer to like 100%. I'd be like over 95%. Which means companies are seeing people building their own brands. People may have it on their resume or they may not, but the questions are coming up. But even hiring managers will have their own business. So there's, I don't want to say it's a con, but it needs to be the way you structure, because anticipate the questions of like why are you leaving your business? Oh, no problem. Thanks, Bree. And this is being recorded too, so I'll send out the link. Thanks, Bree. But how, like, they want to make sure you have time, I guess. Like, you're not going to be doing your business on their time, in their time frame, that your attention isn't going to be diverted, things like that. The benefit to having your own business, you're a self-starter, you have an entrepreneurial spirit. Most people are saying they're going back into the workforce, usually because they're like, it's, you get to do one job versus, and we all know when you have your own business, you're doing like 10 jobs, like 10 roles. It can just be a lot simpler to just have a business. For you, like if you have an HR consulting business and then you're going into HR, it is very closely aligned. So it makes sense. And you can talk about what you've learned, how you've helped your clients, like how this benefits you and them, that you're this entrepreneur and you're now dedicated and focused to this. And if they ask, like, do you plan on keeping your business? Because now y'all companies are getting bold with the questions. So just know, if they do ask about the business, you can say, right now, my primary focus is my career, right? And building my career up. My business will always be a passion of mine, but this is my primary focus at this time. So there's a way to be like, I'm focused on this. So I would say those are like the pros and cons. The pros, it makes you, to me, a better candidate, especially because it's in your field, right? HR consultant, were you thinking about HR?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
HR leadership.
Mhm.
Yeah, it shows leadership, executive decision making. Like I can think of so many things and skills, and you need to be able to give that to them. Don't think that they're naturally going to see it. You need to speak to it. On the con side, it may be some questions or concerns about diverted attention. Um, I want to say competition so much, but a little bit, but mostly like diverted attention. Are you going to be working on your business on our time? Can you focus? Things like that.
Okay.
But those questions can be very easily overcome by telling them what you're bringing to the table and how you can help them right now in the near future and the expertise that they're getting.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome. All right, it's going on. All right, we're almost at the hour mark. Any other questions before we hop off? Any other question? I had one question. Somebody emailed me. Um, I want to get to this question. Okay, so and this is a good question for everyone too. How do you work with your schedule and like clients and getting a contract? So this was from someone who worked full time, and this is a great question. Like I told you all, when I first started, I had a business, dynamic marketing, not dynamic marketing decisions, dynamic marketing solutions. And I was working full time. Like I had a full time job while having this other business, and I had my own kids. Here's the thing, with your own business, you can set your own schedule. Just know, when is your preferred working time? Are you a morning person? Are you a peak evening person? Because it is possible to get your work done before you start your normal 9 to 5 day, right? And if this correlates and aligns to your profession, I always say you're an expert in your field. Things are going to take you less time. It's not going to take you as much time as someone else. I am a paper and pencil type of person, and I literally like mapped out a schedule like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and put in like, okay, these days I'm blocked on working, like my 9 to 5. This is when like I'm doing this. I can maybe do this on my lunch break. Like I literally mapped it out and was like, how long would it take me to perform this client work satisfactory to my expertise, to my level? And then giving myself a little bit of time for administrative tasks too. Don't just think about the work, administrative tasks count as well. So I like to overestimate how, because I got a little bit of time blindness. So I like to overestimate how much time it's going to take me. And then I literally, like, I did it on pen and paper first, and then I put it in my calendar like an appointment. And that was when I got either client work or administrative work done for my business around my 9 to 5. And keep in mind, I still had kids. I was like, oh, I still got to pick the kids up from school. Like I still had other things to do in the midst of this. But keep that in mind. Also, knowing when you are naturally awake. I never considered myself a morning person until probably like the last 5 years. And now I'm like, oh, yeah, I can get up at 6 in the morning. I meditate, visualize, and I can get a lot of the mornings can be so quiet. You can get so much work done early in the morning. And I'm like, I can start my day and this is done. So kind of think about that for you. Go ahead, Trisha. Oh, Trisha, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I had to get back to my unmute.
Oh, no
So
worries.
I'm one of those people who I feel like I'm always planning, always learning, about a business. And
Mhm.
I guess my question is what separates people who are always learning and planning a business from the people who actually, execute and become profitable? I need some advice
All
there.
right, this is good. This is good. This is good. And the sister I said I just went to DC with, me and her kind of talk about this. And I remember I thought I was like I said, I got time blindness, ADHD all over the place. And if y'all know me, y'all know I got now I have all the tools to like keep me focused and all that. But my sister was like, you implement so well and this, that, and the other. And I was like, what? I was like, I have all these ideas I've never implemented. Right? She was like, you said you were going to start your own business and you did it. She's like, you said you're going to do this and you do it. I have a lot of internal dialogue and struggle before I take action. However, sometimes we do miss the little actions that we take. So, one, give yourself credit. You completed that workbook, like you've been doing things. It is important to see the actions you have taken. Do not disregard that. Because I'm looking at you like, this is amazing. You have a whole program right here. like, I, so don't disregard the actions you are taking. Our brains are like, we have powerful, powerful brains that are going to move and move. We cannot implement every single idea, and we shouldn't, or every single task or thing that comes to our brain, right? It's okay not to do that. Give yourself credit for what you have implemented. And another thing my sister said, and someone else said this about me, I would have never described myself like this, but they were like, you're very disciplined. Again, I see myself as like, oh my goodness, I'm all over the place. But when I need to focus and get disciplined, again, I do it. I give myself a certain amount of time. I call it in the research and development phase. You cannot stay in the research and development phase for years and years and years, Trisha. I know people who were like, who, when we were in college, said they was going to start their own business. I was in like an entrepreneur group, and here it is 20 years later and never did it. And they like, because I'm researching, and they need to have all 117 steps mapped out, 37-page business plan. You don't need that. It's going to stall you out, and it's a way of making you feel like you're kind of moving, but you're kind of not a little bit. Decide how long you're going to stay in the research and development phase. Decide what information is enough for you to get started. Decide how long you're going to do this before you just implement. And I will say small implementations count. Please take this, right? Like you have a whole program. So like to me, I'm like, girl, you have a whole program. Like you're doing it. You did it. Think about, instead of being like, okay, how can I get to $1 million? I'll be like, how can I get my first 3 sales? Now that I have this, I'm going to clean it up. Nothing will ever be perfect. You want to get, like anything in writing, you don't want errors or anything like that. You want to get it as close to perfect. Do you want people to be able to write in it digitally? You need to keep those blue space. Do you want people to print it out? Think about how they're going to use it. And at some point, it's done. It's version 1, it's beta, it's okay. Especially for $19, it's going to be like, this is a good product. They're going to get great information. Check, it's done. What is the next thing you need to do? Give yourself a time frame. Like, I'm going to research for this long and stick to it. I'm going to research for I like to do days. Honestly, you do not need months in the research and development phase. You can research something for 3 to 7 days and then decide from my research, I'm going to choose 1 or 2 ways to market my program. And then on Tuesday of next week, I'm going to take 20 minutes and I'm going to start. I drill my things down to the smallest bit, and that helps me. I break all my projects down. I break everything down. Um, but I don't want to stress this enough. You are doing it. You are implementing. You don't need to
It's so
implement all
funny
the ideas.
because I mean, that's part of the book. I talk about that.
Mhm.
I
Yeah, we
already
always got
talk
to that
about
one.
it, but I still, in some ways feel like, okay, yeah, the book, I've done it, it's done, but it probably should have been out 2 weeks ago. And I still have not, I still haven't launched. So,
Okay. So then that is more of a mental, you did the work. The mental hurdle is putting yourself out there, the visibility, like the possibility of being rejected. It seems I would honestly journal, like, why have I not put this out?
mhm.
Like, what would happen if I don't put it out versus what would happen if you do? Because our brains just want to keep us still and safe. You're
Yeah.
trying something new. Your brain is scared to death. It's like, whoa,
Mhm.
whoa, whoa, bear attack. Right? That is mental work. Nothing physically is stopping you from going online, giving people a couple of tips, and then having a link to your product.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but take what I'm saying, I would break it down and being like, as part of the whole project is journaling, writing. I like to write it down. You could also talk it out. Sometimes I talk things out, but really cleaning that up of like, why have I not done this?
Yeah.
Right. And then you'll see, like, sometimes your brain be like, we don't have enough time. What if the like people buy and the link don't work? Then everybody gonna say Trisha stuff bad. Right. Like look at the craziness.
Mhm.
My brain will give me all type of craziness. And I'll be like, this is crazy, girl. This ain't this what or then I say, what is the likelihood this gonna happen? Right. And then if it's something real, like a bad link, I'll be like, well, let me double check my links. And I've had all the stuff happen before in real life. I'll be like, well, let me double check my links. Let me make sure this is gonna work. Um, if you're like, I don't feel like just putting it out there yet, maybe you say, hey, after 10 posts, I'm gonna post 10 times, give
Mhm.
10 tips. That way I feel like I'm giving value first. Then I'm gonna tell people about the workbook.
Okay.
Right? You can make it easy on yourself, but do like the mental work too.
Yeah.
Timeline. You would do that mental work again. Mental work don't take 2 weeks. Mental work don't take 2 weeks. Trisha. You can do it
Yeah.
you do it in a day. Maybe give yourself a couple days, and then I like to put things on paper, and then I set smallest task like appointments. Like it is an appointment on my calendar.
Okay.
Yeah. But you got a whole program. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Latrice. I appreciate you.
All right, I'm going to let me see if I can do this. All right, I'm a little same thing. I'm gonna put my Calendarly in here. If you want to book a virtual coffee with me, a little 15-minute call, and y'all want to talk privately, we can do that. I'm gonna hop off because we're gonna hop off soon. But I am so excited. I'm excited to see everybody starting their businesses. Oh, and then I'm gonna be doing the workshop on Thursday. So on Thursday, I'm gonna be talking about how I manifested 40K in 1 month in my business. I'm gonna be giving very practical tips on marketing, mindset, manifestation that equal more money, like dollars and cents, and like how to do this, a lot of practical things that you can take away now and some things that you can be thinking about for later on in your businesses. Okay. I'm excited. And careers. I want to let you all know these are going to be things you can use in your career while you're building your business. All right. All right, you guys. Let me know if you all like this, or just message me or put in the chat any other topics you all like to talk about or any questions, because I'm excited to do these. But have a good day, you guys. Oh, thank you.